one small request, all those volunteers who are standing, I know we don't have enough place, but may I request that we'll be seated on the stage. I see Nagi, you are also sitting on the stage, so please, let's just settle down, it's alright, let's just sit on the stage for now, it's alright. May I request everybody who's standing to please settle down on the stage, it's alright.
This is working, can you hear me? So can the folks at the last bench raise your hand if you can hear me? Only one person can hear me. Okay, great. Thank you so much for inviting me for the conference. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of pressure for to deliver, not just being the sort of first, but also the sort of very kind introduction given by Praveen. So I'm going to keep this talk sort of simple as possible. There are going to be three parts to this talk. The first part, I will share a story. In the second part, I will extract lessons from that story. And in the third part, I will say or highlight how lessons from that story can actually help us in an AI world, and I believe particularly in India. So for the first part is the story.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just reinforces that the impossible is possible.
Trying to create something which everybody would use.
You can take a crazy projects, you can do, something if you have the right team, the right environment.
Definitely an idea that took its time, but something that was going to change. It's very important.
I think AI has been a journey of bringing together.
As I look past the last 15 years, the entire story, the entire journey is a story of dreaming, a story of self-reliance, a story of can we build something which is not really built before. It starts in 2005. Very few people have mobile phones. You can make a call, you can send an SMS. But one of the more exciting things you can actually do is press a button on your phone to use it as a coach. At that point of time, the experience with banking was long queues, elaborate forms, something that had to be planned for, something that could not be done instantly. And at that time, a few minds across India began dreaming about how these two different worlds could be brought together.
Now, cash is a part of our, you can say, DNA. And getting people out of the cash DNA to this kind of a digital transaction is a huge kind of a challenge.
Big issue in those days was there was no Aadhaar. All these things were introduced after. And the only way that RBI actually allowed you to transfer money from one person to the other was from one bank account to another bank account.
We were studying a lot of numbers, and what we saw was that only 40% of the Indian population had bank accounts at that point of time. So that time, I thought that it was actually quite next to impossible.
What used to cost in 2005, 70 rupees if you walked into a bank, 12 rupees if you do a transaction on ATM, and about a couple of rupees when you did it with credit card. I said, well, then that's the future of the bank, the digital bank.
They used to think that everyone would have a phone, and even a common person would have a phone and want to make a payment, and the street vendor would be willing to accept that.
It was an impossibility. The belief was that in India में तो ऐसे हो ही नहीं सकता. India was not seen as a leader in technological innovation. But despite that, we wanted to build a world-class payment system that was mobile-based, bank-linked, and which would